Hey friends, welcome to Happily Home Cooking. Today we're making some amazing almond butter and jelly thumbprint cookies. These are super simple to make and they're a fantastic substitution for regular peanut butter cookies. If you can't have peanuts, then you know that it's really hard to actually find a good substitute for a classic peanut butter cookie. But these really hit that spot. We're also making these cookies dairy-free today. I'm actually going to be showing you two ways to use this one recipe. One will be making the almond butter and jelly thumbprint version, and then also I'll show you how you can leave the jelly out and just keep them a classic almond butter cookie. Either way, they're super good. So before I share our recipe, please take a quick second to send this link to anyone you know who might be peanut or dairy-free. I can guarantee you they've been looking for a good peanut butter cookie substitute, and they will be so happy you sent it to them. Also, while you're at it, make sure that you are subscribed to our channel to stay up to date on all of our awesome recipes coming out. All right, so let's get baking. Let's start off by talking about almond butter for a second. You can make these, of course, with any almond butter that you like. I today am using the Kirkland Creamy Almond Butter. Of course, I get this at Costco. And there are several reasons why I like this one. Number one, it tastes good. It has a great creamy texture and it has no added sugar. This is purely pureed almonds. So if you like to have control of the amount of sugar that you're adding to things, I highly recommend this creamy almond butter from Costco. The other almond butter I've used before is Justin's Maple Almond Butter, which we get at our local grocery store. Also very tasty. This one is sweetened with maple, so it does have a slightly higher sugar content, so you want to keep that in mind, and if you want a sweeter cookie, you can use a sweetened almond butter. Of course, one other major difference between these two almond butters is the cost. The Justin's almond butter is quite a bit pricier than the Costco almond butter, but again, you can use whatever you like. To make our cookies dairy-free today, I'm going to be using Smart Balance Buttery Spread. Not only is this a great dairy-free substitute for regular butter, but it also contains a lot less saturated fat, so it's good if you're trying to watch your cholesterol as well. This has a great creamy texture, so you don't have to let it soften as long as you would regular butter. And it already has salt in it, so we don't need to add any extra salt to our cookies. So that's what we're using today, but again, you can really use any kind of butter that you like. All right, now that we know what we're using, let's start by mixing together our dry ingredients. We'll use 1.5 cups of all-purpose flour, and to that we'll mix in 1 teaspoon of baking powder. This is the kind of baking powder that I'm using right here, but use what you got. And just give those dry ingredients a quick little mix together. Then set that aside and grab your electric mixer. We're going to mix together the rest of our ingredients. We'll start with our 1/2 cup of our softened butter, or our buttery spread that we're using, along with 1/2 cup of our almond butter. Now fit your mixer with your whisk or paddle attachment, and we're going to whip these two butters together until they're nice and fluffy. Now we'll add in our sugars. We're using 1/3 cup of granulated sugar and 1/2 cup of brown sugar. I love using a mix of both kinds of sugars in cookies. It gives a great flavor and a really nice chewiness. Don't forget to give it a quick scrape down. Make sure all that butter is getting mixed in with your sugars. And one more time around. Okie doke, so now we're going to head outside real quick, grab yourself an egg. We'll go get this washed up and crack it right into our mixing bowl. And we'll also add in 2 teaspoons of vanilla extract. I get my vanilla from Costco too. When you bake as much as I do, you need a big bottle. All right, so we'll get those all mixed in. And then in goes our flour mixture. And we'll give this a few more spins around, just enough to mix in most of the flour mixture. We don't want to overbeat this. And now it's scooping time. Go ahead and scoop your cookies onto your cookie sheet. I like to line mine with parchment. It makes them that much easier to come off. This recipe will make about 20 cookies of this size. Once our cookies are scooped, we're going to be using a small measuring spoon to put our thumbprints into the cookies. You can of course use your actual thumb, which our kids love doing, but I like using the measuring spoon myself. It makes for a nice uniform shape. Once we have all of our divots into our cookies, we're going to pop these in the fridge to chill for about an hour. Now with the rest of our cookies, I'm just going to keep them a classic almond butter cookie without the jelly thumbprint. So I've got a small bowl with a little extra granulated sugar. I'm going to take my balls of dough and give them a roll around in that sugar. And then just like you would with a peanut butter cookie, grab yourself a fork, give a nice little grid pattern, and you're good to go. And we'll chill these ones as well for the hour before baking them. Now before we pop these in the oven, we're going to fill our thumbprint cookies with some jam. I'm using this organic strawberry fruit spread. This is a French jam that you can also get from Costco, and it has a really great flavor. My favorite thing about it is that it has a higher amount of actual fruit than it does sugar. I'm using strawberry flavor here today, but this would be good with any number of flavors. So we'll just fill all of our little wells with our jam. Once these are filled, we'll be baking all of our cookies at 375 degrees for about 12 to 14 minutes until you see those edges starting to get a light golden brown. Let them cool to room temperature, and you, my friend, are ready to enjoy some amazing almond butter cookies. I just love the almond butter and jam flavors together. It reminds me of a classic peanut butter and jelly sandwich from your childhood. And of course, you can't go wrong with a classic. These cookies are a great balance of crisp and chewy at the same time. As you can see, I made these rather large size cookies, but sometimes I like making them a smaller size as well. Totally up to you, whatever you like. I love that sweet little pool of jam in the middle. And that's it. Now you have our recipe for almond butter and jelly thumbprint cookies, or just amazing almond butter cookies. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please hit the like button. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel and send this recipe to anyone you know who might be peanut or dairy free. Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you next time. Happy home cooking!